Hey, so this is Katie, and this is my second vlog. I know a lot of people want to watch these videos about how character performer auditions went, and I had mine yesterday, and they went really well. So I'm gonna give you guys some information and some tips and how my experience was and how to do really well in them. So this is my video about character performer auditions. When they opened the doors, you went in with all the big flock of teenage girls and like occasional boys. There was literally about 108 girls and 10 boys around there, something like that. And so you could tell that this was primarily a girl audition. So we all just kind of waited there, and then they told us to form a line, and in the line they gave us a number. I was number 23. When you got to the front desk, you wrote down your name and your email and other contact information and whether you were in the college program or doing full-time. Then they measured you next to the door, and I'm pretty sure that everyone always says their measuring system for Disney is a little bit shorter than your actual height. So I'm generally a 5'5.5", almost 5'6", and they measured me a little bit under 5'5.5", which isn't that drastic, but some people were like a whole inch off, and I think they do that to compensate for heels. So I think that's why you're shorter. So that's the answer to that question. So after you get your height and weight, you just kind of sit down and mingle with people. And this is where you can, either be a loner and just panic by yourself, or you can get your nerves down and like meet some other people who are also, everyone there is in the same boat as you, so you might as well. So we actually just had a huge group of 100 and whatever people, and this short, spunky lady was our choreographer. And she taught us this really simple dance. And like everyone else says, don't really worry about this first dance. The second dance you should worry about, but the first dance is just a march routine, and it's not as hard as people say it is. What they taught us was basically a skip, and then it was a box step, and then I believe it was a grapevine to the right, or like diagonally to the right, and then a spin to the left, and then like 2 claps. It was, and they had little arms with the box step, so like alternating with your feet. So a few like particulars got people a little bit, like having the arms going in the same direction as everyone. But other than that, that's a really easy part. And the really big thing about that, like to get past that first stage, is to really just smile and have fun. Even if you mess up, they don't care if you're not good at dancing. They care if you try and you're focused and you're spunky and happy. Obviously be Disney, that's what they're looking for. And I'm pretty sure that the people that didn't make it were not the people that messed up the most. They were the people that messed up and then kind of just stopped trying, and like they had like a worried look on their face. It's a little bit nerve-wracking when they split you up to perform it, because it's a lot smaller. You just with like 2 other people, and you had just learned it with like 1,000 other people around you. So there was one lady at the front of the room, and she was at like a desk or a big table just for her. She was the casting director, so she decided who stays and who goes. We got lined up in like 3 rows, and the numbers went down. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they're all in lines together like this. And when the music started, it was like, it's a small world, which gets really annoying after you listen to it like 10 times. Those people would start the dance. They'd do the skip, 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 then the next dance and the next part, and they did that 3 times across the floor. And by the time they got to her, they had finished, and then the lady would be like 5, 6, 7, 8, and the next row of people would go. So that just continued, and when you can practice while you're in the line behind people and watch how they're doing and see what you can do to add your little, extra animations or to make yourself stand out a little bit, but don't be too over the top if you aren't confident with the dance moves. So really, it's just stay in character. Always know that you're performing. That's the big thing, because to be a character performer, you can't break character. Yep, we just danced 3 by 3 down the floor, and I'm assuming what she did is just like cross off the people that were like that didn't fit what she was looking for. Like they weren't smiling, they were too focused on the dance moves, and they were messing up the dance moves. So just smile and be yourself, and don't worry. That's the big thing. Don't worry. So yeah, then the first cut. Oh my gosh. It was really, like, people describe it as being nerve-wracking, but I was like, oh, well, if the first part isn't that hard, then it won't be such a bad cut. Oh my gosh, there was only like 110 to 20 people, and after the first cut, there was 40 people. So a lot of people got cut in the first one. What she did is she went in order of the numbers, and she just named off the numbers that were staying. And if your name and number wasn't called, then that means you had to go. And a lot of people drove from really far away, so it was kind of upsetting. I mean, I got called, number 23, Katie, and I was really excited, but I made like 3 other friends, and 2 of them didn't pass that round, so it was really upsetting, and I felt bad. But yep, so that was the first cut, and it went down from like 100 some to 40. So that was interesting. So after the first cut, you get a paper and you fill out basic information, but a little bit more in detail. And all it was your name, your address, so they can contact you, email, phone. It had like if you have tattoos or not, where they are, piercings. Everyone just wrote like, I have ear piercings, because all the girls did. And then they also asked if you were doing like fall or fall advantage or spring or something like that. So everyone just filled those out, and then we waited in line, handed them in, and then they took your height again. I don't know why they did this, maybe just to double check or something. My height came out to be a little bit shorter, so I was probably slouching a little bit more than I was at first. And then after your height, this time they take your picture. And what they did, they took a faraway picture, they did a close-up, and then they did your profile. So they obviously want to see if you're going to be a face character, if you fit like the whole profile and everything of other characters. So I think that's what this part was about. So they took that, and that again took a while, because now that they're taking pictures, even though it was a smaller amount of people, it took more time. So it was another chance to mingle and get to know more people, and they had all passed this round of the audition, so you could like talk about how you did and all the stuff. There really is going to be that person who's a good dancer, and she knows it, and she wants everyone else to know it. Now, if this girl didn't do anything, and then at the end she just proved herself to be an amazing dancer, I would have much more respect for her, because during the audition, whenever we were sitting down, this girl would just, with no music in her headphones, she was just hearing the beat in the air. We were making fun of her, kind of. But she was just hardcore, like, doing this routine that she was obviously practicing for some competition or something, or had learned. And she's just, like, freestyling over in the corner so, like, everyone can see her. And everyone else is, like, mingling and talking and having fun. And she's, like, by herself, like killing the beat over there. And, like, she's doing, like, this intense, like, ballet, like, I don't even know what she was doing, but everyone knew it about her. Like, we all know you're a good dancer, you don't have to prove it to us. She was trying to, I don't know if she was trying to intimidate us. It might have worked on other people, but the group of girls that I was with, they were like, seriously, just stop. So don't be her, don't be that girl. I got to know a girl that had gone to an audition in Florida, Orlando, Florida, for the lookalikes, and she actually got to the very last round. Like, she was beautiful. You could tell that she deserved to be there. And she was telling me that they had her put on the costume, and she got called back for bell, and she read the monologue that they gave her. And so that was like really cool to know somebody that got there, because I really want to be Princess Jasmine in Disney World, and so it was just really cool to meet somebody and know that it's possible. And she was my age, so around 18 or 19, so that gave me hope. And I talked with her and a few other people, and alright, so the next portion of the audition is the animation exercise. So the animation was really fun. I think I had the same scenarios as most people had. All we did was they played music and they gave us a whole minute just to practice. And she said, okay, you're gonna have 2 scenes. One is going to be you're planting a tree. The other is going to be you're washing your dog. She gave us a minute and she was like, okay, everyone strike a pose. And I started out like this, like I had a shovel to like start digging, which everyone did, so I shouldn't have done that because it was probably not the most creative. But I started with my pose, and then she said, and go. And then you just started doing your act. And I was like shoveling and planting the seed, and then I pretended that time passed and that mine grew into a tree, and then I grabbed an apple and like ate it. So that was really fun. You have to have a beginning and a middle and an end to your story. And it sounds like you have to think a lot, but honestly, when you're starting out, you think of things as you're going, and you're like, oh, well, I guess now what I do is this, and then now what I do is this. So a lot of people did really well, and they let you practice like 3 times before we even have to like get serious about it. So you don't have to worry about that either. Just be goofy, but be serious, be in character about whatever you're doing. Don't let things be like, oh, this is funny, look at everyone else. Don't look at other people. Just focus on yourself and do the best you can. And you'll do good if you just try to think of things at the top of your head and just do them and be funny about it. They love funny, obviously, because they're Disney. And then the second one was the dog one, and this one was a little bit more like spastic, I think, because instead of like just planting a tree or doing something simple, it was like everyone was doing this motion and everyone was like just all over the place, pretending to be dragged by their dogs. So it was really cool to be in a room full of people that were also actors and also wanted this just as bad as me, and they were all into it. And so it's just really fun. And the dog story was really fun for me because I pretended that I was like pulling a huge dog on the leash, and then I washed him, and then I turned on the hose to wash him off, and like the hose was too strong for me, so I was being like blown away by it. So this was a really fun part. And then that was over. Or so I thought it was over. So remember this point. The animation you want to remember, you don't just forget it. It doesn't end there. So next, we learn the more advanced dance. Oh. So this dance, I thought after she would go over a part and then learn a new part, I was like, oh, we're done. That's a decently hard dance. Nope, we weren't ever done. She kept saying, okay, so that you're 1/4 of the way done. Like after I learned so much of the dance, she kept saying, oh, you're halfway there, and I was like, no, I'm finally almost getting this. But if you keep adding more, I'm just gonna like not learn the end and only know the beginning and like panic. And the dance got progressively harder. So I do have some dance experience. I have about the average that people have. I'm not like I didn't dance for like 12 years like a lot of people say they do. So some people are like, oh, I don't know how to dance at all. I danced for 6 years, but when you're little, it's kind of like, she's cute on stage, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm a fairly good dancer, and I'm really used to dancing in show choir and everything like that. So I was used to learning steps and staying focused. One thing you want to do is make sure you're focused. Don't doze off or anything like that, or don't always practice things in your head of what you just learned, because you're going to have to pay attention to what she's teaching now. And another tip that I would give is kind of try and stay in a place where you can see the instructor or see someone who's a really good dancer. So there's a point in the dance where she's like, okay, the front people move to the back, back people move to the front. And I was generally in the middle the whole time because I could see her, or I had this like amazing dancer in front of me that I could just watch. So that's another tip, just to make sure you get the a pretty good handle on the dance moves. So she taught us that. That took a long time. We kept going over it. It was really nice. If you had a question, I raised my hand once and I asked her to go over a part, and it helped me out a lot. And she is happy to go over it, but she won't unless you ask. So make sure you ask if you are behind or lost or something. Don't be embarrassed about it, because there's other people who also want to know that exact dance, and I'm sure of it because nobody is that good. Well, some people were. But so that was the end of the dancing routine, and some people are going to be better than others. You can watch them and try to learn from them if you'd like, but don't worry about it if you're not that good. Don't stress yourself out, because once again, this is the same thing as before. They aren't always looking for just dancers. They want to see what you can do and put your own personality into it and keep your face and your whole body in character and just perform. So don't worry if you're not the greatest dancer. So it's hard, but it's doable. We all just moved to the back. She had this guy videotape so that they could send it to the casting directors. The one lady that was our casting director, she called out groups of 3 or 4, and we performed for her. So this is what happens. So remember back in the video when I said the animation isn't over? This is what I'm talking about. What they do is they mix the two together. The animation, dance, animation, dance. So she plays music. I think it was like Forever, or not Forever Young, but Young Forever or something, some really upbeat song. And she says, so she plays the music, she says, strike your pose. So you're planting a tree pose, and then you do your thing, and then once you're done, after 30 seconds, you are finished with your story. Then she'll be 5, 6, 7, 8, and you go into the dance. And so that's the animation, then you do the dance. And then you finish the dance, and she says, strike a pose, and you do your dog once. You're carrying a dog or whatever you're doing. And then you start that story, and then she says 5, 6, 7, 8, and you dance again. So everyone had to do their first animation, the dance, second animation, the dance again. So you were really tired by the end of your performance. The first group that she put out there on the floor were the best dancers, and she wanted to see them so that she could be sending their videos to a casting director to be serious dancers. So that was that really good girl that everybody was like, oh my god, stop dancing. But now she was so impressive. So if she had just done her show then, that would be okay. But anyway, so she danced these 2 other girls that were very, very good. So they were the first group to go. And since there's a lot of us, we had to watch this dance over and over. And what I'm thinking is that she strategically grouped the people based on characteristics of them or whatever, what they could be. So I'm assuming that she put the really good dancers in the first group, really good dancers in the second, really short people in the third, and then really animated people in the fourth, really animated people in the fifth. I don't know if everyone caught on to this, but I could see that all the people that were in this group, some group, they all had something in common. They were all really good at the dance. They were all really good at the animation, not so good at the dance. They were all really tall, really short. It was kind of strategically done. So I was in one of the later groups because I'm not the best dancer, but I tried my best and I smiled the whole time. But I was put in the group with that girl I was talking about before, who was very pretty, and she was worthy of being Princess Belle. This is just a dream for me, but I'm hoping that I was purposely put with the girl who had been called back before in Florida, because we both look like princesses. Maybe, maybe not. So we all performed. They didn't make another cut after that because it was already a small group, and we had all performed. So this is what happened to me. She called back at the very, very end. She said, okay, thank you everyone. If your name is called, just come up here. She called off a bunch of numbers and names, and I was really bummed out at the beginning because she didn't call my number. And I was assuming that, because what usually happens is they call princess lookalikes at the very end, and they people that they think look like princesses. and I didn't get called, so my heart was like instantly broken, and I was so disappointed because that's the part that I really wanted. And when I was walking out, I took a glance at the girls, and that really good dancer was there, and like the other good dancers. And someone told me that, oh no, they didn't call back the princesses at our audition, they called back dancers to learn a harder routine probably. And that gave me the biggest amount of joy ever, because that's true. What some people have said is that they call back the dancers so that they can learn something else, but they've already seen the people that they want to be princesses. So a girl has told me that her friend got to just as far as everybody else did where I got to, and she actually was offered to be a princess online, like a week or two later. So there is hope. If people are watching this and you didn't get called at the end, it might not have been the princesses. It might have been dancers or something else that they wanted to see. And you could still be a princess, you can still be in the character performer, you shouldn't lose hope if they don't call you. So yeah, that was it. That was my audition. My tips for what to bring and what to wear are, obviously everyone says something comfortable. A lot of girls, I think the very big majority of the girls all wore black leggings, and depending on what you're comfortable in, a lot of girls wore like camis or beater shirts. I wore just a cute beater shirt with black yoga pants, and that's basically what everyone wore. Some people wore short shorts or short sweats or like capri length yoga pants or something like that. But basically everybody wore like black comfortable pants, ballet or jazz shoes, or they were just in their socks, or they had their like special dance like equipment thing on their feet. So yeah, I wouldn't wear character shoes. The girl that was wearing them looked really uncomfortable, and she was kind of obnoxious, like loud when she went across the floor. So I wouldn't say that, because it's a long audition and you're going to want your feet to last throughout. So if you can get ballet shoes or borrow some from a friend, that's what I did. Wear those, or just wear socks. Doesn't matter, won't make you look any worse or better. The people there do not care what you're wearing, because they see the same thing every day that they go to auditions. They're not going to be like, oh, well, this girl is obviously a dancer because she's wearing all this and a leotard and everything, so we'll take her over everyone else. No, it's about what you bring to the table. So just wear something comfortable. And I mean, I shopped and I looked for something that would be flattering, and I wanted to show that my body would be like an okay thing for like Jasmine, so I wore something that was a little bit tight-fitting like my shirt. But other than that, it's really up to you, and everybody wore something a little bit different. You can just wear a t-shirt if you want, t-shirt and shorts, t-shirt and leggings. So yeah, and what to bring. Bring something to snack on. Bring water. My sister gave me a tip, and this is just for me because I'm like paranoid and I wanted to be a princess really bad, so I wanted to look good at all times. I like rubber banded around my water bottle, and I had my chapstick and like a chapstick with color in it. It's what I'm wearing right now. It was chapstick, but it had like red in it, so, and I like stuck that onto the water bottle, so whenever I got a drink I would put that on after. And so food, water bottle, you can have makeup. Some people didn't really have too much makeup on. I went basically like this, and my hair was straight and down. A lot of people had their hair up, a lot of people had their hair down, so whatever you want to do with your hair. I wouldn't spend too much time with it. If you sweat a lot, I don't, but if you sweat a lot and you curled your hair and then it just flattens out by the end of the day, you might as well just do something else with it, because it's kind of going to be a waste of your energy. But other than that, if you have any questions, just ask me. You can put it in the comment section below, and I will update everybody if I get a part or an email. No matter what happens, I'll make another video, because I'm going to the college program regardless. So here it is. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.